Hello everybody, today I'm going to be sharing a real side dream experience from my book Chronicles of a Cosmic Space Case. The PDF link to this book and book 3 of my real side experiences are in the links below the description of this video. Dream 32, Project Bluebeam. In this dream, I would find myself on the Earth, and I decided to take to the skies, a little flying, to alleviate the boredoms of the planet and get above things. I flew here and there, all around the globe. Was quite the sightseeing excursion from my elevated position. After a time, I would come to land in my very street. Night had fallen, and there was the sense of something brewing in the air. Then lights began to manifest in the skies above. As I watched, they would become larger, and now I was witness to quite the display, as all these spacecraft of various size, shape, and colour flitted about. Reactivating my flying ability, I thought I would join the spacecraft in the skies, but was rather dismayed as how my flying skill seemed to be diminishing by the moment. At first unable to reach the speeds of earlier, then unable to achieve the height either, until I was effectively grounded. In addition to this, the spacecrafts were dropping little packages. They would float down, and on landing and inspection turned out to be an assortment of cakes, donuts, and things of this nature. I ate a selection. They were most gratifying. Then the street took on a Christmas theme, exacted by the spacecrafts. Christmas trees and decorations abounded. Then I awoke. The UFOs in my street are quite a common dream of mine, although I hadn't had it for a while. I would describe the spacecraft as also being of a similar type as in the previous dreams. The difference being the addition of a Christmas theme and little cake offerings. As my awareness has expanded since I've had this particular dream, I can see more, or perhaps the guides are willing to show me more. Maybe the whole earning my way and awareness is unveiling greater facets and depths of awareness enhancing demonstrations and experiences. What with everything equaling itself, the ears sharing in equal measure to the extent by which I share and stand real with it. At first, I would have considered this to be another indication of things to come, along the lines of the big surprise Dwayne makes mention of, and adding to the many other alien and UFO related dreams I and many others are having, indication of some negotiated alien intervention and what's happening to this planet. But then, to look at the details of the dream might suggest this is in fact something slightly different. The alien intervention for the benefit of the human race still in the pipeline, but the possibility also of some deception that may run in conjunction with this by the hands of the evil controllers. I'm sure we've all heard of Project Bluebeam. It is where an Orwellian world could be brought to bear in the event of a faked alien invasion. The lockdown of everyone into a far more controlled state for our supposed benefit to meet the perceived threat of the aliens. However, it is believed this so-called invasion would be orchestrated using holograms, or maybe even government craft made to look very alien indeed. It's very likely the controllers are aware of this possible beneficial alien intervention, and so their faked blue beam plan might serve a dual purpose. If only the aware people will be able to recognize this benign intervention, they may well be hoodwinked and misdirected by a simultaneously executed fake alien intervention, or perhaps it will arrive prior to the genuine one. Either way, confusion is possible, unless being in a state of awareness will allow discernment between the two events. Depending on an individual's degree of awareness, I imagine, and so some people on their awareness process could well be misled. For in my dream I was flying, so I was in a state of awareness beyond the creational levels, and afforded a more expanded viewpoint, and yet the presence of the UFOs grounded me effectively. But in fact, the grounding was suggesting that they did not represent something that was awareness beneficial, but quite the opposite. That they, in fact, were a restriction of a kind, potentially a faked alien force, masquerading as benefactors, with their intent and agenda being then in alignment with the controllers. To agree with them would have us restricted and tap-lined, indicated by my sudden inability to fly. I was tap-lined and restricted back to the lower creational life levels, losing my wings through agreement to ideas stemming from them. The added elements of Christmas and cakes also further suggest this scenario. Christmas being religious, and all religions being the controlling creations of the reptilians. Agreement to such things having the same constricting and position limiting effect. And back to the cakes. Stimulation of the emotional body. Sensation overstimulating, flavour enhanced confectionery, as most foodstuffs of this nature serve to cause. So it would suggest quite possibly that yes, we ought to be a little suspicious of alien interventions, if indeed the controllers are getting ready to launch one of their own to net as many of the new friends as they can. For, as Dwayne was saying, there is that big surprise a-coming, but only for those who can recognize it, and thus be a part of it. Theoretically, if we stand in our real awareness, we ought be able to discern the fake aliens from the genuine, but we must be cautious not to get too overwrought and excitable when the spacecraft turn up, as this will have us move into our personal selves and be unable to determine the authenticity of the aliens and their spacecraft. We are reminded of that movie, Independence Day, how all the people welcomed them with signs on the roof, and received less than an agreeable response, being blasted with blue fire fit the category of disagreeable, it had to be said.